What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our Darkened Souls, a Soulthrough of Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition here at Vignari's Verse. So, last time we finally beat the Asylum demon. We beat the mass of our fears combined with those of the people that love us most. With our new way of thinking, handling problems, our new way of holding on, making an anchor for ourselves, defending ourselves without slowing ourselves down, and a new way of healing and recovering. Tidbits of, joy, relief, and encouragement and resolve that we can carry with us far from the bonfire. So first, let's rest. Now, see, there's 3 more options than there were, because back in the Asylum, because in the Asylum, the only options were leave. So we can level up, we can kindle, and we can reverse following. Now, like I said in the first reboot episode, I'm going to be talking much more about this in the podcast. So I hope that the brevity of the information I give here is not disappointing. I promise that I'll be talking about it more later, and if you want to, ask any questions in the comments, I'll be happy to answer them. That's why the comments are there. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you think and how you feel about this. Right now, we're going to be leveling up. Now, what this could, there's a lot of stats, and I'm not going to go over what all they mean in real life. But from a more gameplay standpoint, I'm a strengths and magic and miracles kind of guy. I don't do much dex. I'm more of a, heavy weapons guy, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and put some health up. And I'm going to see that if you didn't know already, we took the souls that we had gained from... Whoa! Hey there, creepy. Step away from you. So we took the souls that we had won from that battle and retrieved from our first loss and put them into permanently strengthening our character. And that's kind of like what we do in real life when we make a big accomplishment, but we just don't realize that we're doing it. When we achieve something great, it builds up our confidence. A lot of the reason why people get stuck in rut, sorry, for some reason that sounds like that. A lot of the reason that people get stuck in a rut is because they have little confidence. They're down on their luck, or, they just can't seem to win, or maybe they were headed somewhere, strong, sturdy, and something knocked them down, and they just didn't get back up. Well, that's the thing. You can't build your confidence unless you try again. And that's what this game teaches, unconsciously, in a way. It kind of instills in you a desire to keep getting back up. Because you want to get past that obstacle, and you want to get stronger. And you want to, have more fun playing by being able to just toast these enemies that used to be so difficult. And in real life, there's not as much of a visible incentive for that until we have a dream. And once a person has a dream, there are few deadly things, but few things that can turn one's position on that around and cause one to sink back into the asylum. But they are potent. But we'll be talking about those in the future. Or in the podcast, more like. But first, let's get a feel of where we are. And looky here, I've got somebody to talk to, finally. Other than Oscar.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
Well, gotta love a creepy voice actor. So, in review, here's what we know. We know that we got out of the asylum, but we also know that doubt and fear don't just stop there. Doubt and fear will always be a part of our journey. No matter how far ahead we are, no matter how thoroughly in our hands our dreams have become. And there are always going to be people, naysayers, and you're always going to have to hear them. It doesn't matter where you are, you can't shut them all out. But here's the good thing. You could kind of connect this guy, and sorry for if I'm seeing a little stuttered, I just got a bit distracted by someone knocking at the door. But this guy's negativity is probably one of the first things you'll see. It's like, you ain't the first to leave your, not in these words, but basically, you are not the first to leave your asylum, and you're not the first to fall to despair after you leave because you realize the world is even harder than you thought it was. The world is hard. Life is hard. That doesn't mean that your dream is impossible. Nothing great was ever easy to obtain. But at the same time, while he did try to bum us out, he did give us some good advice. There are actually 2 bells of awakening. So let's see if he's got anything else to share. Because that's what you need to do when somebody around you, when you don't know a place, like we don't know Firelink Shrine very well, which is this area, you need to explore. And that means getting a lay of the land from the people that are there. No matter, how negative they might be, there might be something you could learn.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow.
Well, that's true.
Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
This guy's not, actively a jerk. Oof. I thought I was about to engage him. That would have been a bad idea. But he's not actively a jerk. He's just cripplingly cynical and depressed. His name is Crestfallen Knight, so...
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
And that's a new mechanic. And it's not just a new mechanic being introduced, but it's also something about life being introduced. But, humanity. Now, what is humanity? Well, we actually earned some in that last battle. Let's look at it, figure out what it is. Humanity. Rare, tiny black sprite found on corpses. Used to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of HP. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? Lore-wise, great question. And life-wise, great question. You could kind of consider humanity as, well, basically like confidence points. Not confidence points exactly, but you're kind of standing in front of other people. Because something that's different about real life than in video games is the fact that in a video game, all your progress gets recognized in some way or another. Sometimes it's even your tiny progress, like in Skyrim, like, oh, you made a dagger. Nice job. It's like, it's just a dagger. I hammered some metal together and wrapped it in leather. And the thing is, there are a lot of struggles in real life that we go through that receive no recognition, no matter how incredibly important they were to me. Like, somebody who stopped smoking, that's a huge struggle. I've never smoked before, but I can only, but I can imagine having had, like, used to have a gaming problem. But I can imagine how incredibly hard it must be when it's a chemical thing rather than just a psychological thing. Or somebody who's beaten a drug addiction. There's no greater monster to be beaten. But oftentimes people are either scorned or demeaned or dismissed about it. Like, oh great, you did that, now you're a normal human being. No, they're not a normal human being. They're an extraordinary human being. Because they had all the trials a normal human being has, and this one that sunk them down to a low level, and they came back. So, it's kind of like imagining, instead of the pit that you just crawled out of, reverse the pit, flip it over into a mountain, like reverse it into a mountain, and that's the height you've climbed, whether or not anybody sees it. And humanity is kind of the visible evidence of that. So, and also in game, it actually, let me see. Wait, no, didn't do that. There we go. So in game, it makes you look more human. We're going to be very stingy with that. Because, in real life, you don't get, like, your accomplishments aren't visible to other people. But just like we can see the number, even though, people still think we're, corpsey looking, we should try and build for ourselves a sense of we've come a distance. So I know I'm already over time a little bit, but I'm going to keep going, make this episode double long. So I've gotten that. We also learned something else, something that's going to be important. It's why we're going to be stingy with our humanity. Specifically because he said you could get yourself summoned, help somebody else. That can build up your confidence. That can also build up other people's esteem of you, which is kind of what humanity is. It's esteem. The number is like your self-esteem, and, the visible shape you take is like the esteem other people hold for you. But then there are those, and the world is overflowing with them. There are those people who, he's described it as invading. They're the people who will gladly hurt other people to move forward, to feel better about themselves, to feel better esteem, or to get what I think is a false, empty, hollow esteem. Because what do you really gain from hurting another person? Nothing. It's a zero sum. No matter what you got from it, it wasn't worth it. But we, talking about humanity and leveling up, we also need to, do what we did in the Asylum in that last half, is explore. So let's the strange woman behind bars. Bars thought she cannot speak, but she can still reinforce the Estus flask. Let's see what happens when we have to talk. No response, she cannot speak. That might change in the future, we don't know. But she can reinforce her Estus flask somehow. Don't know how. Let's go ahead and see if there's anybody else up there. Pick up some items too. Some items right there. More humanity. Gonna be careful about popping off, because that's the thing. When you die, you don't just lose your souls, you lose your humanity. And humanity is great in early game. What's down here? Humanity is great for when you're trying to get enemies to drop certain items, because certain items you can only get from enemies. Ooh, firebomb. I'm sure I'll come up with a reflection of that in the podcast. Don't have time right now. But the whole thing of humanity is it can also help you find more loot once you've raised it enough. There are other things that help with that too, but it's a great start for the beginning. It's kind of like how when you've got enough esteem, it kind of opens opportunities for you because of what you've accomplished. But yeah. Also, it's going to be a challenge to hold on to it when we fail, but we can get it back or regrow it if we really stumble. Now, who is this fine bowl cut of a fellow?
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
And why is that, my doughy friend?
Hello there.
Hello.
I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will.
Oh, well, that's
Here,
good.
take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles?
Well,
Would that please you?
Certainly.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Covenant. That's going in the podcast. I'm pretty sure I know how, but I won't waste time talking about it here. All right.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Well, that's good. All right. Learn gesture. My favorite gesture. All right. Now let's see. Purchase item. Well, as you can see from the obscene price range, we ain't buying anything today. Or probably ever. Because I'm pretty sure you could get some
Come
of the stuff
again.
for free.
The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
I'll keep that in mind. You pricey, priesty dude. Wait, did I talk to him? Let's talk to him for a sec.
Oh, I will teach you miracles. A promise is a promise, after all.
Thank you.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
Cool.
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith. I'm afraid that may be difficult, for our missions are sacred.
Now this guy right here, I could
Come
honestly
again.
compare him.
The effectiveness of...
I'm not even going to listen to you right now because you could honestly compare him because I know all about him. But you could compare him to kind of like, there's the cynical dude that's like, oh, all's despair. And then there's going to, likely be somebody who's like, hey man, it's okay. We can do stuff together. We can, fix your problems. We can, face your challenges together for a small fee. Or worst of all, using religion or faith as a means of manipulating other people with money, or worse. Because there's no lower person than somebody who will play on another person's faith to get what they want. I'm religious, deeply religious, organized religious. But I don't turn a blind eye to that, and neither should anyone. If somebody, in one breath says, you must have faith, and in the other breath says, now that'll be this many dollars, you need to turn and walk away, because they're hiding something. Jesus was a pauper. Just saying. He didn't want money from anybody. And for the record, he did shake up an entire temple to kick out the the people trying to make it into a marketplace. But as you can see here, we got some strange loot, strange chests. What's this? Cracked red-eye orb. I hate you so much. No, I'm not using you. Let's take a look at what this is. Online play item. Invade another world. Defeat the master of the world you've invaded to acquire humanity. This is basically the tool of the people. That in real life, it's kind of like their okay. It's like this is okay card to do what they do. To hurt other people, for their own gain. It allows players to temporarily imitate this ability, normally limited to the Dark Wraiths of Cath. Now, we're going to find out who they are later. But let's get that out of my inventory, because I don't like it. Frankly, if you can't tell by my tone, I hate invaders. I really do. And what's this? Morningstar and a talisman. Gee, that seems familiar. Where did we just see that? Let's see. Morningstar. Thrust attack type. What? Okay. Hammer with a sharp spike on its pommel. One of the more barbaric cleric weapons. Uniquely, this hammer inflicts thrust damage and causes bleeding. Does it? Well. Seems odd to have that next to Homeward Bone. That's going to be useful. Alright, let's see. First off, we've got a Soul of Lost and Dead. We'll cash that in at some point. Talisman. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. Equip talisman to cast miracles. Blah, blah, blah. Well, this seems, somebody pointed out in that video once that this seems like that cleric's secret stash. So, the mace and talisman, the Homeward Bones, make sense. Why does he have that? Why do you have cracked red-eye orbs? Something tells me that Mr. Holy Man's not that holy. Let's find what's in here. Lloyd's Talisman. What is that? Talisman utilized by Allfather Lloyd's Cleric Knights to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recovery within a limited area. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's Cleric Knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. An invasion item. That is an invasion item. You wouldn't need that otherwise. So all signs point to this holy man being a predator. Let's see this. See if this gives anything away. This is the coin he gave us. Its face shows Old Man McLoif, god of medicine and drink. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lord, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around. We'll find out what that might mean in a little bit, but as it happens, we've only one way down. So, I'm gonna end the episode by checking out, seeing what the, whoa, okay. Skeletons. Very strong skeletons, okay. Oof. Okay. Okay, that did better. Oof. Okay, I'm doing much better than I thought I would. Oof, oof. I got one. And got you too. Okay. Now, typically I die in this area because I'm not good at dodging them, but got lucky that time. So here's the thing. When deciding what direction you're going, typically, you should know better than anybody which way you're able to handle best at a given time, you know, what direction you can take, because once you reach the point of being, you know, self-directed, basically reaching your own Firelink shrine, you're base of operation outside your asylum, you should know better than anyone which direction to go. So, that one seemed a little hard. Next episode, we're gonna just for fun, we're gonna check out if any other places seem more or less viable, which direction to go. Because you said there's one bell up, one bell down. Just to be sure, we're gonna see if there's any way to get down from here. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a double-length episode. That's because it's very dialogue-heavy. And in the future, you can expect that to be the case if there's much dialogue to be shared or cutscenes. I don't want to leave y'all with little action. But like, favorite, subscribe, click that notification bell, comment. Please comment. Let me know how I'm doing, if you enjoy where the series is going, as opposed to where it was before. If you're excited for the podcast, whatever your thoughts are. But that notification bell, make sure to click it so that you can stay up to date on when we're releasing new episodes. You know, for the most part, they should be at least every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. If not, every day of the week at 6 o'clock. All depends on you know, how my progress goes on, you know, putting these videos out, because I've really been getting a boost. But thank you so much for watching, and whether it's one click away or a week away. Till next time, peace be with you.